Oh shit, oh shit, we installing today. You guys can guess what this is. What is up everyone, welcome back to another episode of Backyard. Today we are doing some more car mods. As you saw from the last clip, we are installing some PRL TGV deletes, as well as some PRL EGR deletes. These are you don't really need the block off plates, but it's not a bad idea to do so. It comes with all the hoses and the block off plates for that EGR delete. So let's get to it, guys. And today we're sipping on some Victoria, best Mexican beer there is. Cheers. All right guys, so here's the engine bay. In order to do the TGV and EGR delete, and put my beer down, we're gonna need to remove this engine cover plate, remove the intercooler, and get in there. So basically the reason we're doing this is right now it has TGVs, and what that is, it's an emissions thing. So Subaru needed a way to pass emissions, and this plate here you can see barely under the charge pipe, under the intake manifold, has butterfly valves. So those open and close and regulate emissions, and they restrict airflow. And basically it's going to give us more airflow. It's going to help the engine breathe a lot better, which is good because more air equals more power. Hell yeah. So first things first, we got to remove the engine cover. You've seen me do it before. It's pretty straightforward. We don't need this anymore. Basically, boom, it's held on by this charge pipe, that bolt, and this bolt there, and this pipe right there. So we're gonna remove all that, go from there. We got the top mount out. Some of the fins are pretty fucked up on this, rocks and shit, but that's normal. We're gonna put this away and save it just in case we gotta go back to stock. This is what your engine should look like, nice and naked. And the reason I say that is because you guys already know I'm updating the intercooler anyway, so yep. So now we're ready to start doing the TGV install, or TGV delete, the plates. Basically to do that, go to our engine bay, got your intake manifold. We gotta take this cover off so that we can pull out the TGV, and it's held on by two bolts, one right there and then the other one right here sideways. Not those two bolts, but that one right there. I took that one off on accident. We're gonna have to take it off anyways, but this is the one you want to take. All right, we got that plate out. So this is free. Now what we want to do is unplug our TGV harnesses right here. It's just a little press and remove. Remove that. And then you want to just move it out of the way for now. Do the same thing. Ooh, beer. Do the same thing on the other side. All right, now that we got those unplugged, see the little harness right there, we can go ahead. I already removed this one, but there's 4 bolts on each side on the manifold. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there, and same on this side, exact same location. So you want to remove those so you can free up the manifold and the TGVs, and be very careful not to drop the bolts, because that always sucks. I got skinny fingers though. Party foul, spilled a little bit of beer. It's okay. That's not cleanable. Alright, so we're not done yet. Now that we have all those bolts off, this should be free, but as you can see it's not. That's because we got to remove the EGR plate back here, and that's located, ow, just hit my head. Remove the EGR plate, which is these two bolts here. Just take that off and then your manifold will be nice and free. Alright, we got the bolts out of the EGR. You want to save these for later, so I'm going to put them aside. And now the manifold's nice and free. We can essentially just slide out these TGVs. So this is what it looks like when you take it out. Got the driver side TGV out. Now we gotta do the passenger side. So just gonna put this away in case we ever need it. Right there, you can see the TGVs right there. This silver piece. So I'm just gonna lift this and slide it out. Boom. Both TGVs out. Put them together. All right, we got our two TGVs here. The one that says PRL on it right here and has that screw goes on the passenger side. The other one goes on the driver's side. Doesn't really matter. I believe the short ear goes up, long ear goes down. They can only go in one direction. So, and if you look at it, the PRL is upwards. So there's that. So just slide it in. You can't just simply slide it in. I don't know if I can show you, but in here there's some flaps, little valves stick up, and you can't just slide it in, so you gotta like lift it a little bit and then pop it in. So let's do that right now. I'll wiggle it a little bit. That one's in place right there. Same thing here, we're gonna put the TGV in there. Alright, now we got our TGVs in. We pretty much just want to put our bolts back in. You can see I've already lined them up. And then you want to start screwing in the middle ones first. Slowly, little by little on each side. And then move on to the outside, same thing, slowly, little by little each side. And go from there. And tighten it all down. 4 bolts on each side. Alright, y'all, we have officially at the last beer in the mouth. But shout out to Bevmo on their delivery service, cause boom, check it out. Check it out. Oh, we got beer. We got beer. Allagash white. Glitter moon, some unicorn shit. We got some tropical shit, some Maui tropical IPA. So 2 IPAs, IPA, and Belgian style wheat beer. I've had this one. This one's really good. Never had any of these two. You guys want to sponsor these videos? Hit me up. So it's getting dark on us. Fucking hate it. I need to install some shop lights in here so I can work from inside the actual carport. Right now I have it out so that the motion lights do a little something. They're not great, but they work. I'm probably gonna swap those out with some LEDs, make them brighter. But yeah, I'm gonna finish tightening up the bolts and hopefully we can get to the EGRs tonight. All right, y'all, we got everything bolted in. It's nice and sturdy. We can't forget to put our little shield back on, so we're gonna go ahead and do that and then move on to the EGRs. All right, we're back, finished up the TGVs in here, and on the other side we put our bracket back in. Now we're gonna do the EGR. So to start off, we already removed, get a little view here, we removed the bolts right here. So we gotta remove this whole line and remove the bolts that are right there. So there's one here and one on the bottom. So same pipe that we initially removed. All right, we got the pipe out. So I'm gonna set this aside. But we suffered a knuckle buster casualty, all because my dumbass forgot to put my gloves back on. But oh well. So we got our EGR delete kit. We're gonna be using this big barb next. But before we do that, what we have to do down here, see this piece here, this pipe, there's two hoses that connect to it. So this hose here, we're gonna have to clamp it off because this is gonna spill a lot of coolant. And there's another connection down there somewhere that we have to basically remove this end, put the barb, remove the other end, and connect it together to the other side of the barb. So just so you guys can see, it's this hose. So here's the pipe. Basically you gotta remove this hose and that hose and connect them together. So let me do that real quick. All right, so we got that hose out. Spilled very little because we clamped it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in here just to be ready, and then remove the bottom one, which should be a little bit harder, but we'll make it do. Holy shit, that part was a pain in the ass, but we got it because it was really down low. But let me show you guys real quick. Nothing crazy, but here are two hoses put together. Looks like there's no leaks, so we're good. Didn't damage the tubing when I clamped it. All right, so this is where one of them came out, and down here is where the other one came out. Before we continue, we're gonna go ahead and try this beer that we just bought. Revision Brewing Co. Glitter Moon with tiny unicorns, Northeast style hazy double IPA, I guess. But yeah, it looks interesting. And that's the shift knob I'm trying to put on. I don't know if you guys seen it before. It used to be teal and black, but I painted it. But the adapter that goes in here to go into the Subi shift knob is stuck on the other likewise shift knob, so we'll see. But anyways, let's try this puppy out. Cheers. Yo, that's fire. That's fire, that's good. I'm actually curious to see what this looks like. Let me bring a pint glass. Oh, definitely very hazy. Boom. Check that out. Nice, thick, hazy, pretty juicy. It is a pretty juicy double IPA, but it's fire. All right, now that we got our beer, it's time to get back to work. All right, next we want to remove this whole pipe. Let me get on the other side. Want to remove? Basically it has two bolts here and then two at the bottom. I'm gonna have to go through under the car. But when you take that out, you want to be careful because there's gonna be some coolant in here. So we're gonna take it out and then we'll dump our coolant. Not in there. That's my washer. Uh-oh, that would have been bad. In here. All right, we got this guy out. So now we're gonna pour some of the coolant. Look, you can see in there, there's a bunch of coolant. I'm gonna pour that back in here. Just pour it all in there. I'm gonna put this big block off plate first, and I'll show you where that goes. You're gonna need your original EGR bolts, so these two, because it's gonna go where this came out of, and that'll be right here. So we're gonna put that big block off plate right here, and you want to make sure that that gasket is still right on. And for us, looks like we're good. So just hand tight, don't overdo it. So you see this guy here? We don't have to worry about this because this whole piece is gonna come out. But basically, down there we're gonna put this block off plate. But basically, where we're gonna put this block off plate is right here. You see my finger? Here are the two bolts. And you want to make sure that it still has this gasket on there. So my phone died. That's what I was using as a flashlight. I don't have another flashlight anywhere, so we're gonna take another beer break. Cheers, guys. All right, guys, so I lied. There actually is, let me put my beer down. There is a gasket to replace that bottom little diamond piece that we took off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the gasket that's down here. Alright, so now that we got all the plates blocked off, so the one over there and the one down here, next we gotta remove this piece here, this whole piece. So you can't see it, but here under this guy down here, there's 2 bolts that we have to remove. I'll show you once I get it off. But there's 2 hoses too. So there's a hose here and on the other side. Those 2 we want to connect with the barb that we have, and there's also the EGR connector that we want to disconnect. We want to unplug that. So we'll go ahead and take this off, unplug that, remove the hoses and connect them together. So we remove this guy now. So I'm going to use this small barb to connect the 2 hoses that are connected to this guy. So right there and right there. Alright, so we removed our EGR control valve. That's where the EGR was connected, right here. And this is where our 2 hoses were connected, right here and right here. And they were a pain in the ass to get off because I had like no leverage. But yeah, we're gonna set this aside. Just show you what we've got. They're connected right there. So the barb's right there. The 2 clamps are over the barb, and we're good to go. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up that video. We've got these hoses zip tied up so that they're out of the way. These are already naturally out of the way, so no problem there. Alright guys, so we are back inside now. We just packed everything up. That concludes the install of the TGV and EGR delete kits. Big shout out to Import Image Racing, my sponsor, for supplying those parts. And I'm pretty much fucking hungry now, so I'm gonna see. Looks like this chicken's finally defrosted, some chicken breasts. Oh, I want to make some teriyaki chicken for dinner. So hopefully it turns out good. I gotta clean up this kitchen because it's a fucking mess. But with that being said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow's installs. Stay blessed. Peace. Ooh, pineapple teeth, y'all.
Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it all now. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. See the evil eye every time we pull up. Talking about the fakes, but that's not us. You know you can call me Dundada.